Deep South EDC lunch break live. So we got a juicy one here. Now we got the details about all these extra cops that they're paying an exorbitant amount of money per hour to be here to work on Mardi Gras. So far I've been having a really hard time finding the numbers of the amount of officers that are going to be coming from outside of the city to help for crowd control during Mardi Gras. I found some rough numbers the other day, kind of added them up. It was a little bit over 100 from what I gathered. But it's been really hard finding the exact numbers. So the story today kind of has a little bit about that. And it turns out that, yeah, my estimate was pretty accurate. Low Klondike Outdoors is checking in. Yeah, late lunch. I got the closing shift tonight, so I'll be here into the late evening. So late lunch. All right, so I'll just read the story. Here we go. New Orleans. So here we go. When roughly 100 deputies and officers from across Louisiana come into New Orleans to help the shorthanded New Orleans Police Department, they'll be operating under a set of guidelines laid out by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. So in their first sentence in the story, it looks like I was right. They only have about 100 officers from outside. I'll get into the commentary when the story's done. WWL-TV has obtained a copy of the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement drawn up by OPSO, which will have to be agreed upon and signed in to help New Orleans for Mardi Gras. According to the Parish Sheriff's Office, the copy we obtained is a basic agreement. Some departments negotiated with OPSO and signed slight variations of the basic agreement. Staffing shortages initially forced NOPD to condense parade routes, but in collaboration with the mayor's office and the Mardi Gras Advisory Council, city law enforcement was able to secure dozens of additional officers from across Louisiana to come into town and help with crowd control. Per the CEA, all deputies and officers coming in as supplemental security must have an up-to-date Level 1 LAPOST basic training certification, which is completed in Louisiana, and 2 years of job experience. There will be no special training, and the Sheriff's Office says that they believe that is sufficient for the detail work being asked for out-of-town officers. In an email, OPSO wrote to Eyewitness News, the CEA doesn't require any sort of special training because of the limited nature of their support. They'll be asked to assist in crowd control, making sure vendors and parade attendees are following state and parish laws, and supporting NOPD for any arrests. We asked the Sheriff's Office about jurisdiction and which department would be responsible for an investigation or discipline if something goes wrong. Deputies and officers in this capacity are being viewed as, quote, independent contractors of the Orleans Sheriff. They will be assigned by the Orleans Parish Sheriff, but will wear the equipment, badge, uniforms, and weapons issued by their home parish. At all times, those officers will be considered employees of their home department and subject to the laws and regulations of those departments. However, the agreement protects the home sheriff's office from liability and responsibility for their deputies' actions. The liability article in the document reads, quote, the Orleans sheriff shall assume all liability for and defend against any claim for damages for injury to persons or property caused by the fault, negligence, or intentional conduct of the deputy sheriffs when acting pursuant to the Orleans Sheriff's Special Officer commissions issued under the agreement. The Orleans Parish Sheriff will be providing professional liability insurance before officers come down. The cost of the city will rack up quickly too. Visiting law enforcement will be paid up to $50 an hour for each parade day leading up to Mardi Gras and $75 per hour for Mardi Gras Day. Officers from outside Orleans Parish are entitled to a $64 per diem and mileage reimbursement of 65.5 cents a gallon, per mile. The CEA gets detailed about officers checking in and out and how checks will be distributed. But overall, it lays out specific guidelines, means to protect both parties as Mardi Gras gets ready to roll in 2023. Daily Knife, how's it going, man? So that's kind of a lot to take in. So pretty much what they're saying, they only got 100 extra officers, which I said, which I guessed or gathered that would be the amount that they had. I still don't exactly know which departments everybody's coming from. I know they're coming from the sheriff's office. They're coming from Xavier University, couple, and just a couple from there's Washington Parish. So let's go through here and I'll just kind of speak my piece a little bit. Where did I want to get to? All right, so they will not be getting any special training. So that's kind of worrisome because we have like some of these cops from like Washington Parish, which is a really small area. They don't really have a lot of people. And with Mardi Gras, there's thousands of people in the street for miles. Like, it's unreal. You guys should look up like an aerial photo of Mardi Gras. It's crazy. I saw a comment just now. It said 100 cops. That's a lot. It does seem like a lot, but spread out over miles of city for a parade route. And then it's not 100 every day, I don't think, because they have to work like in shifts and stuff, right? So I don't know. I guess now we need the schedule of the officers to come out next. So one thing that's interesting here is NOPD, the New Orleans Parish, the New Orleans Police Department and the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Department are under what's called the consent decree, which means that they are under federal oversight. This usually happens to really bad police departments where the federal government actually has to step in and get involved. What's interesting is that none of these other police departments are under that consent decree, so they don't exactly have the oversight, and they can be a little more loose in their policing, I suppose. I guess loose is a bad term, but they could be a little more proactive in their policing, I guess we could say. So that's the story. So I was right about the number. I think I'm a little, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I mean, I guessed right, but it's not good because I thought, you know, we kind of shut down Mardi Gras for 2021 because of the whole, you know, sickness that was going on. And then in 2022, we came out with these modified routes because of the lack of police force. But last year, we actually had like 268 more police officers than we do this year. So this year, we're minus 268, but we get 100 more from outside. So that makes us minus 168. So it just doesn't add up how last year we had to go to these shortened routes, but this year everything's back to normal. I think this was kind of hastily put together. They should have planned it better. I'm a little worried about, and maybe it's based on nothing, but I'm a little worried about these police not having the proper training to kind of handle crowds this big. I mean, it usually stays civil for the most part, but we're talking thousands of people for miles in the street. I guess my worry is a lot of the police who work the parade route, who work for NOPD, they're pretty laid back and have fun with the people. So hopefully everybody else has a good time, I guess. What do you guys think? Anybody planning on coming out for Mardi Gras? I don't know. This will be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I had some chats coming in on the comments here. We got Daily Knife 2 says there's probably not even 60 cops in town I live in, so it sounds like a lot to me. Yeah, I used to kind of live in a smaller town when I lived in New Mexico, and you know, one of my friends' dads was a cop, and there weren't very many of them there. So it's definitely crazy, the difference. But I bet Daily Knife doesn't have a lot of crime where he is too. Maybe, just a guess. Um, let's see, we got some more. Looks like my mom is in the chat. She says, love the hat and love you too. All right, Mom, love you too. Yeah, my other hat, I kind of changed. I don't really do hats. I can't really find one that looks good. So anyway, I'll leave that right there, guys. Hopefully this all works out with these extra cops that aren't getting trained in crowd control, but are getting paid a lot of money to come to the city that our taxes are paying for. Luckily, our NOPD ended up getting paid the same, so that's good. I'll leave that right there. So happy Mardi Gras, guys. I'm going to be out on a parade day, I think on Saturday. I'll kind of post something maybe on my Instagram or on a community post here, let you guys know where I'm going to be if anybody wants to come and hang out. Anyway, remember guys, 100% of all home invasions happen in the home, so stay well regulated. You can find me on Minds.com. That's a cool place to go. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all at DeepSouthEdc. Find me on Rumble. I got videos that don't go up on YouTube, up on Rumble. And I'm thinking about starting a Utreon. People have been telling me that's the place to go. So I think I'm going to start that there. Let's see, any last chats here? We got Daily Knife 2 says, have a great day. You too, man. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming to Deep South EDC, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.